It's the arrogant atheist reminding you that religion is bad, man, and in particular, bad for women. Why women need freedom from religion. To not be burned at the stake. That's what the cartoon is telling us. But obviously there's a million reasons why women shouldn't get involved with religion. But the patriarchy that's inherent in religion should be obvious to everybody. The excusing of classic historical chauvinism has led to the oppression of women across the ages, and of course that needs to stop. I wasn't going to open up the pamphlet and look at that, but part of what we are talking about on the next podcast is myths. Mythosystopia is where we're at, and of course one of the huge myths of religion is that it's actually loving and caring and takes care of everybody, when really, if you look at it, religion puts down women in most sectors. But we're going to try to look at some of these other religions that don't, right? And that phase into the Norse mythology thing with Dawn, where women in some ways were a lot more empowered in those societies. And we all love that, don't we, man? Who doesn't love a shield maiden, man? You watch Vikings? Ooh, Lagertha, man. Ooh, that's my everything right there. Fine. I totally forgot what else I was going to talk about. This one. Check out atheistunderground.com, and remember to look for it on Patreon. We really need sponsors. It's just like $1, and it takes a few minutes more. The pain in the ass of signing up for Patreon, I get it, and getting another account. And signing up is probably what stops most people from doing it. That's what would stop me. You're not going to notice the $1 every month and a half, 2 months, whenever we get a podcast out for now. So do try to do that. Patreon.com, Atheist Underground. Look for us on iTunes and whatever else the kids are looking at the podcasts on. What is it called? Stitcher, my friend?
Stitcher.
Yeah, Stitcher and Podcast Zone. I don't know. But look for it. iTunes. What is it?
Google Play.
Google Play. Yeah, you can find it at all the usual spots. Like us on Facebook. The links are always there too. And we hope to get the Mythosystopia podcast out fairly soon. There's going to be a new Profiles in Pedophilia. Sir Hugo Bottomsley-Upton has yet another story of a classic pedophile in the tradition of the great unheralded Catholic sacrament that we've all sadly become too familiar with. I'm trying to open a link here that I also got from our friend because it's reached down under. Australian police bring sexual assault charges against Catholic cardinal. I don't know who this is, but it has not escaped Australia, the pedophilia ring in the Catholic Church. So it hasn't gone away. We're not forgetting the deaf boys in Milwaukee who were molested by the hundreds, the sealed documents hung up in Milwaukee court system, which protect the church against having to pay out even the minimal payouts that they are allowed by law to pay to the victims of these horrible transgressions at the hands of the people that they trusted most in their lives, has finally gotten to Australia. And why not Australia? Everybody thinks Australia is so cool. Let me talk about Australia for a second. They gave us fucking Ken Ham. And they also gave us Andrew Snelling, the geologist, the creationist geologist. They're talking about an oxymoron that Young Bobby Science is going to talk about also on the new podcast. He's one of Ken Ham's cronies from Answers in Genesis. And we're going to take the piss out of him with a new episode of Creationist Asshole of the podcast.